everybody. Welcome back to Kruse Control. It is Wednesday, June 14th, 2023. Welcome to Kruse Control, the home of entertainment news. I am your host, as always, Brian Kruse. Welcome back to the program, everybody. Welcome back. It is Hump Day. And you know, we love to say that around here. I don't know why, but it's a good day. It's Hump Day, everybody. So happy Hump Day. Happy Kruse Control Day. And we're back here. And with me again, always, is the lovely Miss Sabrina Vittori. Sabrina, welcome back to the program. How you doing tonight?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Doing good. Happy Hump Day. Yeah. How's your hump day?
You said we like saying that, and I would just like to clarify that you like saying that, okay? Don't speak for me on the hump day. I think our two other guests may also be on your side, but I will be happy to be the cheese stands alone, okay?
It's the law, Sabrina. It's hump day.
Sorry.
You have to hump.
Agree to disagree.
Mike, don't talk until you're introduced.
Yes, you can't talk. But you know what? We'll go to you first, Mike. And joining us back here at Kruse Control, the king of hump day, Mike Casey. Mike Casey, how you doing tonight?
Now you're just enabling me. If you cut directly to me after I broke the rules, like now I'm just incentivized to break the rules all the time.
You went over then.
I'm doing great. Thanks, our two lovely co-hosts for it's an honor and a pleasure. I'm very excited.
I can tell. Thanks for being back, man. I appreciate it so much. Happy Wednesday. And also joining us back here on Kruse Control, you know him, you love him, the man with the wild shirt. I fucking love this shirt today. You guys see it. Sean Sutherland. Sean, welcome back to the program, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Just give them a second to appreciate and enjoy this shirt. Look at all this. Take it all in. Take it all in. If it's Wednesday, you know it's got to be Kruse Control. How you guys doing? So excited to be here.
So happy to have you here. So happy. Hi, GR in the chat.
Sean. I like shirt talk. Sean. That's
we can do that. Let's spin it up. Spin it off.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Shirt talk. Sean, take it away. Sean, what's your topic today?
Mike's sitting here with a Jurassic Park t-shirt, thinking like it's 94.
I'm repping.
Vintage.
When did Jurassic Park come out? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, it's a great shirt. Everyone's got great clothes on today.
Mm-hmm.
Early 90s, something like that, you know, of course, but there's so many, and they're rebooting that again too, and that's another whole thing. So I don't know why they want to keep doing that, but
because everybody loves dinosaurs, Brian. It's not that hard to figure out.
I love dinosaurs too. It was 93.
Boom! It was 93.
Damn.
That was very impressive. Very impressive.
Whew.
Well, today is of course
like a complete asshole had I not gotten that one right.
Hey, don't do that to yourself. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Right.
Welcome back, BSP. Welcome back. And as always, now it's time for some breaking news. All right, everybody, the very first thing I want to dive right into is a quick little update on the WGA strike and IATSE in general, because IATSE is going to donate $2 million, that's right, $2 million towards its members for this writer's strike situation, because a lot of them need aid right now because a lot of people aren't working if they didn't save for this. A lot of these crew members work paycheck to paycheck, and IATSE is taking $2 million out of their funds, and they're giving it to these different foundations that donate, or that you can apply to if you're an IATSE member to get money to help you out through the situation. The Motion Picture and Television Fund, Entertainment Community Fund, and the Actors Fund of Canada are getting $2 million, and they split it up, and you can apply for it now if you're an IATSE member, because that's what it's there for. The unions are trying to help out in a situation like this where there's no end in sight. Since May 2nd, we still have a strike. And the DGA gets a deal, and SAG's negotiating, so who knows if they'll get a deal. But because of that, they're making this happen. There's other funds, too, in case you're in this situation. There's a Humantis nonprofit organization that's launched something called Groceries for Writers. So if you actually need help with groceries,
Humantis? Is that some sort of human praying mantis hybrid?
It might be. It might be. I mean, hopefully they're not like Zornet.
I'll try.
It takes some money for groceries. Don't eat us. But giving money out, helping out. There's also the Inevitable Fund that's out there right now. Inevitable Foundation, I should say. And they have an emergency fund right now for disabled writers. If you need some money, they can help you out too. And there's also Pay Up Hollywood, another fund out there that launched during COVID that's still happening right now to support staff members and assistants that apparently don't get anything most of the time, get fired, get laid off, or are working long hours for nothing during a strike. So helping people out. Because of the strike, there's a lot of things happening. Just like Marvel, everybody. Marvel is pushing their slate. That's what's happening because of this. A lot of stuff's happening. And before we get into it, I just want to talk about this because everything's moving. Captain America 4, A Brave New World. It's only moving a few months from May 3rd, 2024 to July 26th, 2024. Not bad. Thunderbolts, again, been shut down, put back, shut down, going back and forth because of this WGA strike. They're moving a couple months too. They're moving from July 26th to December 20th, about 5 months. Blade's been riddled with problems. I mean, between changing directors, throwing scripts out because they hated the script. It's been a nightmare, but they shut down again too. They're moving 5 months, September 6th, 2024 to February 12th, 2025. Fantastic Four, only moving a few months, February 12th, 2025 to May 2nd, 2025, taking the Avengers Kang Dynasty time. So that's pushing a year. Is going to have to wait another year for Kang Dynasty. You're waiting until May 1st, 2026 for that. And Secret Wars is also pushing a year till May 7th, 2027. So all these projects are moving. And then they're pulling Deadpool up 6 months, which is interesting. So Deadpool is coming out May 3rd now, 2024, as opposed to coming out in October or November it was supposed to be for. So this is the ramifications of a strike, though, everybody. This is what happens. And also, Marvel has other issues we talked about on here. The Jonathan Majors thing is still up in the air. So there's a lot of stuff that maybe... Is it the WGA strike, or are they actually taking advantage of that? I think it's a combination. It just is. And I think that this is actually helping Marvel in a lot of ways, gives them more time to actually put into this phase and make it the best that it can, because they need it. They need it to. I know Sean wants it to be great, right, Sean? How do you feel about these changes? This makes sense, right?
I am all for studios and whatever taking as much time as they need to develop a superior product. And if this is what needs to happen to facilitate, the story being better, the movie looking better, whatever have you, I'm all for it. I definitely think that Marvel caught a break here with the writer's strike, that kind of taking all the news out of the Jonathan Majors story. Again, there's still a lot going on there, but nothing really definitive. I think it's okay to push these things. Bringing up Deadpool makes no sense to me. I'm not sure how that kind of factors into it. I mean, you're
idea.
Ryan Reynolds is forbidden from improvising during shooting right now because of the writer's strike. I don't know. I don't know why they said, okay, that's a good thing. Let's move up Deadpool, but. Yeah, I'm all for them.
Do you get a writer's paycheck and an
No.
extra credit for improvising? You don't,
Nope.
but you're not allowed to do it during the strike.
Because it changes the script. Like,
Yes.
if they wind up using it, it legally changes the script. So it's technically, I mean, I agree with you 110%. That's ridiculous. You're an actor, not a writer. If you but that's the same to be said. Like, what if you forget your line and don't say one word, or you say the instead of they? Like, I don't understand how you could legally pursue that as an issue. Like, how do you know that there was nothing changed even a tiny little bit? You really don't. But
well,
you're correct.
Ryan Reynolds transcends all boundaries as well as labels. So I think it's okay. If he wants to do this or if he doesn't want to do it. But the dude owns a soccer team at this point. Like why not? Deadpool owns a soccer team. I don't know. What else is this going to do? Is it going to is Deadpool 3 that they did this so that it could premiere in Wrexham? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
There might be some weird logic with that too. Maybe it'll work out with his press tours or different movie that Ryan Reynolds is doing, because again, Ryan is constantly working. Sabrina, your favorite friend of the show, right? He's always working. So maybe this works out better for his schedule. Or maybe he was like,
I think they're pulling it because they're pushing everything else. And this is kind of, I don't want to use the word standalone, but it was a Sony property and now it's suddenly a Disney property. And so it's not intertwined as every other thing in phase 5 of the MCU. So I think that for them to pull this up, they'll still have content to put out. And it's not going to mess up their, entangled stories, because all of those other movies will mesh together by the time Secret Wars comes out. Is that what it's called? Secret Wars, the last one?
Yeah.
Secret Wars.
Yeah. Okay. I get
2027. Woo.
So I just think that Deadpool is easy to shift and to move. There's all of the people in there currently are not commingled, although I do believe that the intent is to commingle them. So I just think it's easier to pull the property up because it is not knitted into their whole plan for phase 5. That's my personal opinion. And also I love Ryan Reynolds.
I think it just makes sense for them, right, Mike? It just makes sense. It's like you got a WGA strike, like just push it all.
I think Sabrina wants to commingle with Ryan Reynolds.
I would love to commingle with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh
I just
boy!
like
Go Wrexham!
It was a good word. I was really pleased when you used it the one time, and then when you brought it back again and started talking
I used
about
it twice.
like,
I commingled it twice.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
great.
even know.
It's good.
It was
So
so
speaking of
natural.
a different superhero that's not Ryan Reynolds, because we don't want to talk about Ryan too much tonight, I want to talk about Superman and Lois, which is actually renewed. I thought it was be canceled. It was going over the news over and over again. People were saying the rumors would be done. They've been negotiating back and forth for months, but nope, it's coming back for one more season, season 4. They're cutting 3 episodes off the count. Normally it's a 13-episode season. They're going on to 10. They're actually cutting actor contracts too. Normally they have 12 main actors that are on board for the whole thing. They already got rid of Lois's dad now. He's taken off. Walsh is gone. Her dad plays General Sam Lane on it. And he's been a big part of this product. And there's like, get the hell out of here, man. He says goodbye to the show. He did a whole Twitter thing about it. So they're getting rid of him. They're talking about getting rid of other characters too. Chrissy and Kyle might be gone too next. If you've been watching the show, they're actually in the chopping block too, apparently. Based off rumors, we'll see. But they already said they're going to be cutting more cast. They're going to take away most of the superhero shit. They're going to focus on the family more, which they've already done this season. This whole season's been about Lois and her cancer, and that's about it. So I'm like, now we're finally pulling Bizarro in for the very last episode. So I mean, they're already doing it. So it's just they should just let this go. If you ask me, it should have been gone, but they're just letting it happen for a while, keep it going. And this thing is like when you have massive cuts, when CW is getting rid of all this kind of content anyways, well, I mean, maybe it'll be good. They'll give it an ending. They'll give it a good ending. They've had 3 seasons, so they'll give it a way out, give them a shorter season, finish it up, be about the family, and then let it go. I don't know. Mike, you're so excited about this, aren't you? You're so huge fan of Superman and Lois. You're like, fuck yeah.
It's all about the family. I'm a massive Fast and the Furious fan. And
oh yeah.
Because I'm like the Dom of my family because I'm all about the family.
Mike Toretto.
Yeah. Toretto,
Mike Toretto.
That's
Mike likes to barbecue and drink Coronas on the weekend. So he's all about it. But
they'll break into a prison and snap necks of men that have families at home all day long with no remorse, but they're all about the family.
Correct.
I'm
Just
sorry.
Not,
In what Fast
family.
and Furious did that
Not
happen,
yours.
Mike?
Might have
Was
been
that Tokyo Drift?
Might have been Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, okay.
It definitely happens in this most recent one. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah. This most recent one, they just make fun of it.
I'm sure murderers love their families too. Like, I guess I'm just a bigot against snapping necks.
I think
Well, I tell you.
I think you're just not a fan of murder in general, which I'm going to tell you. It's okay.
I don't know. I would say
it's
that.
okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I have misspoke.
Well, shit. Well,
Learning
somebody
something
else
new
that's
about Mike tonight. Okay.
I know, Mike. I got somebody else that you might.
Commingles with murderers.
I don't want to
Just
take
so
a
you
strong
know.
stance on murder. Okay, this is on the internet forever, so it
It's
can come
true.
back and haunt me.
It's a little late.
It's not going anywhere.
Mike. Yeah.
Well, somebody else, Mike, that also loves murder is Peacemaker, because Peacemaker season 2,
True.
there's an update finally coming about this. James Gunn did an interview recently. He was on Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, and he was talking about what's going on. He's like, what's going on with Peacemaker? Of course, Lex Luthor, again, tying that into Superman, Lex Luthor from Smallville. So he's talking to Lex Express, and he says, okay, here's what's happening. He goes, we're going to do Superman. And when Superman's done, after that, he goes, I'm jumping right into Peacemaker. So working on the scripts already, he's going to go right into production, right into shooting. They're going to shoot Peacemaker, Superman, Peacemaker 2 back to back. Of course, it's not going to come out before the Waller series. They're still going to let that come out first. So that's going to go into production probably the same time Superman will come into production. And then, but James Gunn's going to do the same thing. He's going to direct the episodes like he did in season 1. He's writing it all. He's all involved with Peacemaker. It's not going anywhere. Hey, murder is fun, GR says. Well, it's fun for Peacemaker too, GR. Not everybody loves that, though, I don't think. On TV, murder is wrong, but can be fun. I don't know. Anyways, this is happening. It's lucrative. I'm excited about season 2 of Peacemaker, though. I think that could be great. I'm happy we got some news on it, right, Sabrina? It's about time that James Gunn addressed this, right? We've been waiting for some more Peacemaker.
When he initially laid out his 8 to 10 year plan, Peacemaker was a bit down the list. So I'm actually very happy to hear this because I really enjoyed the show, and so did a lot of people. And I just feel like you lose a bit of the build up and the audience's attention when you let 5 years go between seasons. And like, I understand that it's his show. He writes it, he directs it, like he does all of the things. So he wants to give it his full attention. But first he's giving the Superman Legacy his full attention. The thing is, Superman Legacy, as of now, like barring the right, who knows what's going to happen with the writer's strike. So this could change, is not coming out until like the end of 2025. So Peacemaker, or not the end, I'm sorry, July of 2025. So Peacemaker at the earliest maybe can start airing towards the end of 2025 or the beginning of 2026. So I although I'm excited, it's still way off. It's still way off from like being an actual thing that I can sit down and watch and enjoy. So I'm a little bit bummed about that, but I'm happy that it's going to be the next thing he goes into, because it was a really, really great show.
Oh, it's so long.
When Sean was talking about pushing back release dates and that it doesn't bother him a moment ago, it put me in mind of a quote from the great Shigeru Miyamoto, maverick of Nintendo fame, creator of Legend of Zelda and your favorite Italian jumping bro, which is what I call Mario. He says that a bad game delayed will eventually a good game delayed is eventually good, but a bad game is bad forever. I'm butchering that.
Oh my
completely.
God.
The horses go after the cart, Mike.
Okay.
Hey, why are you bringing me into this? That's not fair.
Okay, I got it. A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad.
Thank
Shigeru Miyamoto.
That's what I said. I got it right.
Yeah,
Definitely
sure. Yeah,
did not.
Close enough,
Get
Mike.
it right.
Close enough. A for effort.
Sean, do you like Peacemaker? Are you excited about this at all?
I loved Peacemaker. It was the best thing to come out of Suicide Squad, aside from the Suicide Squad movie itself. When they announced it, I was very surprised that they were getting something that this thing could actually exist, something that had fun with such a goofy character and such an over the top portrayal by John Cena. I was very excited for it. And I can't wait to see this, and I'll wait as long as it takes, I guess. There's no other option. Plenty of comic books out there with Peacemaker right now, though. Peacemaker Tries Hard issue 2 came out 2 weeks ago. It was a good series, and there's like a female Peacemaker now called Peace Wrecker. So go figure. There you go.
Wow. That's pretty cool, though. I mean, like, is that happening because of the success of Peacemaker, the series, then, or what? Is that
absolutely.
They're piggybacking off of it?
Yeah, this character did not get much play prior to the Suicide Squad movie. He was always a bit player, background player, kind of used as a gag, but not really explored any of the depth of this character previously for any continual amount of period of time. And these recent comic book series that have come out have explored and basically tried to harness the energy from the Peacemaker show and have done so pretty well. So yeah, it's Peacemaker's time in the sun right now, and we all just get to bask in it. So I'm all for that.
That's cool,
I'm forward too. Like
seeing the comics react to the show like that and get a bump and get some creative energy instilled into it. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's how it should be. I mean, it makes sense. It's like piggyback off that, and especially people want it. That's the best way to give them more content. And I love going to that medium too. It's always great. And speaking of a physical medium, Silo is coming back for a second season. And of course, Silo is based off Hugh Howey's Wool series, the novel trilogy. So if you're a fan of Silo on Apple TV Plus, you're getting more. Now it's still airing right now, season 1. 10 episodes the first season. You got Rebecca Ferguson, you got Common, you got Tim Robbins in here. It's a great cast. It really is. And if you don't know what it's about, it's a story about the last 10,000 people on Earth. They're living in a silo, and they really don't know how they got there, anything about their past, what's happening outside. They're told that you can't live outside, that there's toxic world out there. It's deadly. If you go out there, you die. They send people out to clean the camera so they can see the outside world, and then they die within, it's like 4 minutes or something like that. So it's a very interesting thing, but they're also the big question in this series, if you haven't been watching this, are they lying to them? Is it actually okay to be living outside in the real world, or are they trapped in here for a reason or not a reason? It's like, it's very interesting. I actually like the show a lot.
Sounds like Cloverfield Lane or Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah, Kimmy Schmidt. Yeah, no. Well, it's like if Kimmy Schmidt was just stuck in there with like 10,000 of her friends, you know what I mean?
Well, he was lying to her. Like, it was okay to come out of the silo.
It was. Well, I honestly think that it's probably fine on the outside world. A lot of things lead to it making you think it is. I've been watching it. Only 7 episodes have aired so far, so we still got a few left until it's all said and done.
Is it good?
But
People seem to like it.
It's I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I think it's actually very well done. Some of the episodes, I think they delve into her relationship with George too much, but I still really think it's very well done. Rebecca Ferguson's fantastic in here, right, Sabrina?
This is going to be the one that pushes me over into finally getting an Apple TV subscription, because Lynn is going to be all about it, so she'll be happy to see it.
Tim Robbins is awesome too.
There are definitely better shows on Apple TV than this, but this is a very, very good show. Like this should not be the reason you get Apple TV, trust me. However, it is a really good show.
Severance.
There's a lot of wasted time. I feel like sometimes I'm just like, really, a whole episode and we got like maybe 1 foot more. Like, you know what I mean? It's just go ahead.
I think it suffers from the same issue that some of the Star Wars, the Disney Star Wars shows have, where it's just like there's a lot of filler episodes and a lot of episodes that are just kind of happening to give you some background, but nothing's really moving the plot forward.
Exactly.
Nothing's really doing anything to kind of tie into the overall mystery that you really want to kind of like shown to you. And then it'll be rushed in the last couple episodes. I think it's suffering from that.
I'm worried about that.
Exact same issue. Yeah.
You watch a whole episode and you're like, so we're pretty much where we are when we started the episode. Like it's like not like nothing really happened. You learn some things.
We should be done with filler episodes by now, right? Like
we're diving in.
Episode season, like you can do an 8 episode season, you can do a 13 episode season.
No,
just give
they're
us
glorifying the filler episode. They're glorifying it. They love it. I don't know why.
Well, 10 episodes, there should be no fill. I mean, when you have 23, 24 episodes, 22, it makes sense.
Enough story if you're doing 10 episodes and the 3 of them are filler.
They want a season 2, dude. That's why they do it. They're like, wait, we're not far enough.
They got 3 books.
You need to know what happens. Like, we need another season.
They have 3 books, though. That's a lot of content. And
I'm
it's
not
like
talking
you have
about
3
this specifically. I'm just saying, like, look at The Last of Us. There were some filler episodes in The Last of Us based on a video game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was like they chose to do that the first game in the first season, and like there's so much more you could have done with like the monsters or zombies or whatever they're called, like the fungus infected people, but they chose to focus on relationships, which is totally fine. Like I'm down with that. Like that makes the viewer more invested, and I think people were very invested. But there were episodes where I'm like, isn't this a show about like infected people that are like there episodes didn't even have one infected person in it. Like I just it's just like
barely any in the whole season.
Not seeing humans infected with giant mushroom parasites.
But I mean,
for a
like,
little while.
I'm just
my
saying,
favorite
like,
part.
There were 2 episodes that were very heavy in that, and the rest of it was more like the people that are left fucking each other up. Which it's like, bro, we should all be on the same side here, people. Like, I don't.
That's because we're all The Walking Dead.
Who's the real monster?
Who's
It's
the real monsters? There you go, Mike. You got it.
Mike, you want to know who the real monster is? The real monster's fucking Bambi. That's the real monster.
Oh, no.
Bambi's the monster.
I'm psychic today.
So mean.
We got a real murder-heavy episode. Yeah,
this should be called Murder She Wrote or Murder. I don't know, Murder something. Murder Wrote. Anyways, Bambi live action's coming apparently, and Mike likes murder. That's what we're gonna call this episode. Mike likes murder.
There you go. Yeah.
But Bambi, we know that there's a horror Bambi movie actually coming already. There is a horror version of this coming out. Well, on top of that, we're getting a Disney version too, based on the 1942 Disney animated film about Bambi, who of course deals with their mom dying, hanging out with Thumper and Flower, and just, prancing around the fields and smelling flowers and shit. But anyways, Bambi's coming as a live action, and they found a director apparently while they're in negotiations. So we'll see. But Sarah Polley is coming forward right now, and she's in negotiations. She, of course, wrote and directed Woman Talking. And she actually won an Academy Award for the screenplay for that, too. And she's coming on to take care of this. And she's not writing it, though, just directing, apparently, if the deal goes through, which it probably will. Disney, they put this stuff out there, and then it's within a couple weeks it's signed. But, yeah, so she's coming in to take over Bambi. And I don't think this is something we really need. But, again, Disney's getting to the bottom of the bucket here. I mean, they have Snow White coming out next. That's, I think, next fall. And that's already shot. That's done. And then what do they have for that? I guess we have Bambi. So Bambi's coming, and Sabrina's excited, right, Sabrina? You want some Bambi in your life. You want live action Bambi.
No.
Bambi's going to come out with Barbie. We'll call them bees. Bees.
I really don't. I don't understand. I don't understand. I really don't. Like, why are you doing this to me? Like, why are you doing this to anybody? And also, let's be clear, Bambi is like the most depressing Disney property, like in the history of Disney properties. Like, it is
Song of the South.
So, okay, that's banned. That doesn't count anymore. Okay. They even took out the ride
Banned.
that was associated with it at Disney World. So that doesn't
fair.
count.
That's fair.
And you know,
Zippity Doodah remains.
Zippity Doodah is going
can't
nowhere.
Zippity
Splash
Doodah.
Mountain.
you can't
Splash
kill
Mountain's
music,
gone now.
bro. Can't kill the music. Just saying.
Please don't stop the music.
Or do, I guess, if we're talking about certain songs.
Yes.
Parts of Dumbo were like really hyper sad too. Like the beginning with
I
the
agree.
train, like, and then the drunken clown
With the gun
battle,
GR.
Like,
Yeah,
weird.
that's
I
more
miss
torture
those.
based. This
Yeah,
is
why
more
do-
like
why do we have
murder
more
based, which
torture-based children's cartoons?
I just don't
so
understand
depressing.
how this is even a thing that
that
they.
what
Like,
it's
it's
gonna be?
animals. We can do
It's
it
gonna be a
because it's
snuff
animals.
film. Is that what's going on?
There is.
Kind of was in a way.
There-
too.
there
I
is-
mean,
There is a like live action horror. I guess a horror version too that's coming too. That's going to be Bambi probably killing people. But
So stupid.
that's what I'm saying. Are these going to go out hand in hand? I don't know. I mean, Bambi just fell into that whole world where they can actually make fun of her now and make like spin-offs and stuff in free domain. So I think that's
No one
why
needs
that's happening.
this. Literally.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
we
Nobody
need. The
needs it.
origin of Thumper.
Yeah,
it's not
origins
gonna
of
be
Thumper.
Not going to be a deep story, I'm sure.
At least that would be
No.
original. Like
That's fair.
instead
That's
of
fair.
recreating Bambi like with like animals that are basic, it's just like more realistic looking animals on screen with voices. Like, I don't. There's no need for that, in my opinion.
yeah, how
At
is
least
that
Snow
live
White.
action?
It's
There's
just
like
getting the Lion
exactly.
King,
It's
the
like a
Lion
new
King treatment,
CG.
I'm sure. Yeah.
From animation to CG. Like, who
Nope.
gives a shit? Like, why are you wasting your time and money on this? Honestly, I
will
don't
be
see a
the-
need for it.
It's going to be the same thing, just like Lion King probably. It'll probably be that same kind of deal where it's like CG, but live, but not, created on soundstage. And everyone's going to go crazy about shooting. They probably won't even kill the mother. The mother probably ran off and you'll never see the mother die because they won't want to show the mother die now these
Because
days.
it's
I don't know.
horrifying.
What if
Yeah.
Bambi is Ron DeSantis, though?
Mm.
What if that's the new angle for this one? And they're just like
Well, that'd be-
they're just sticking it to him.
I feel
I
like, it might be something different.
That's the kind of hot takes that Disney is known for.
Yeah, right. They're totally all about that.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, especially with their history of Ron DeSantis right now, I'm guessing Sean's leaning towards that. That would kind of make sense. They're really
They are in
fighting
a
like
bitter
this.
bitter feud at the moment. But
Yeah,
by
they're
the time
bitter-
this live
bitter-
action Bambi comes out, that will be long gone. That will be irrelevant.
Yeah, just like the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial is irrelevant now, but unfortunately, it's still in the news. And I'm like, why are we still in the news? But we are, because Amber Heard finally showed Johnny Depp that money. And I heard this, and I was like, I was going over all the tabloids, and the people online are going nuts about it because apparently they made a deal. And I didn't know they made a deal, but they made a deal. And originally, Johnny Depp was supposed to be awarded $10 million. And then he was supposed to get, it was like supposed to be like $5 million, but then, for punitive damages, but then they changed it down to $365,000 because of the state restrictions. And then Amber Heard was supposed to get $2 million from Johnny Depp after this whole thing. We talked about this before. This has been a big clusterfuck, I would say, for a relationship. But they changed it. They made a deal. And they decided that Amber Heard would pay Johnny Depp $1 million and it'll be done. And they just do this and be done with it and move on. And Amber Heard said, okay, I'll do it. It's a very difficult decision, but I'm not using this as an act of concession. But I won't challenge it. This is not concession, but I'll give you $1 million. And then so Johnny Depp getting the $1 million bucks. I know, right? He's taking the $1 million and he's donating it to two charities. He's not pledging it. He's donating it. He's donating it to 5 different charities: Make a Film Foundation, The Painted Turtle, Red Feller. These are Red Fellow, Tetraiana Society, and Amazonian Fund Alliance. So he's going to give them all $200,000 of Amber Heard's insurance money. So it's not actually coming out of her pocket. It's coming from her insurance company, giving them $1 million. So, and this is done. We think it's done. It seems like it's done. You have a court case in UK, you have a court case here. Everybody was watching it over it was like right after lockdown. People are going nuts. We were glued to our TVs watching it too. But it's good that she paid something though, right? We're done with this, right, Sabrina? It's over with. This is it. Case closed. Or are we going to have some more of this coming up in the future? Do you think Amber Heard will go swiftly into the night?
I mean, she doesn't really strike me as a type, although we haven't heard much much about her since this has gone down, except for that she moved to Madrid. She did say though that her like all of the backlash and how vilified she was on social media is typical and also reminiscent of how women are like re-persecuted for coming forward, which like I really just wish she would shut her mouth when she's talking about people who are actually victimized. It's offensive, it's annoying, and it's hurtful to people who have actually been in a situation where they are abused. And like your fake crocodile tears and your bumblebee earrings and your nonsense is like offensive to people who are like people who actually are like in a situation where they have suffered domestic violence. Like they are the ones that are coming after you and saying these things because they like you're making them look bad. People who need to step forward and have a voice are now afraid to because you made a mockery out of something that is very real for a lot of people. And that's a very offensive. The fact that he went down from getting a $10 million payout, which really would have been an $8 million and change payout, and is just letting her give him $1 million to donate, not pledge, actually donate, is insane because their entire relationship, all he did was give to her and her friends and her family, and everyone lived for free and did whatever they want. He took care of her all the time. And she says it's not about money. Well, if she's not considering this a concession, like she's agreeing, she's not agreeing to the fact that she was bullshitting this whole time and not defaming him and lying. In that case, then I think that you would absolutely 100% not have made a settlement. But you are all about the money. It's all you cared about. And that's why you're happy to have your insurance company, by the way, which I think is bullshit, pay the $1 million and you can just walk off into the night and not have to worry about it anymore. I think it's really offensive for, like I said, women in the situation. I think that Johnny Depp still comes out looking like a king, super generous, did the right, he did, he's like, I just want to clear my name. He did that. He doesn't want the money. He's donating the money. Like, I just think it shows everybody what we already knew about the situation.
And he's continuing as a rock star. That's what he's doing now. It's like he's just rocking out and doing his thing. And it's good that these two just go out of the way and deal with their lives. And yeah, it's just a lot. I mean, the whole case was a lot, right, Mike? Mike, do you think that Johnny Depp's going to come back from this? So do you think that he'll have a career again? He's going to stop rocking out and be a movie star again? Or do you think that this whole thing just tainted his whole life and he's done?
I think that we're having the same problem that we always have in this kind of situation, which is that Sabrina comes across so very well thought out and erudite and eloquent. And then you say, hey, Mike, what do you think about this situation? And I'm stuck like with the banana in my hand, like just contemplating. Is a settlement a concession or an admission of guilt? Okay. No, but also, is it? Yeah, maybe. Johnny, I don't think he had any interest in dragging this out to the full end. Like, if he could get a settlement, that is enough admission that, like, oh, okay, like maybe I did make some fraudulent claims, or enough that you don't think you can make your case. Like, and the guy's clearly had his, he completely had the rug pulled out from under his acting career. So I think that just the symbolic gesture, and of course he's amplifying that by donating the $1 million, is enough to hopefully bring back the goodwill and the kind of status that he had. So hopefully his jobs come back. I doubt that Amber Heard, that everybody's going to want to be, in bed with her anymore. Speaking in terms of business relationships,
I don't think people would trust being in bed with her, unfortunately.
In any capacity.
She does in bed, yeah.
In any
but
capacity.
She said she's retiring in a way. She's stepping away from Hollywood. She said that she's been there with her kid in Madrid. And then also, but she has like one film that's like indie thing that just came out that she went to a premiere for. Yeah, but she said that she's stepping away from Hollywood.
Pretending that it's her choice. Like, I 100% agree with Sabrina. Like, to play the persecution card when you are apparently provably you believe yourself to be in the wrong, at least $1 million worth. It really just does. It harms everybody else that is in situations where they're not doing, I don't know, people that it's harming people that wouldn't settle because they know they're in the right.
Yeah. 100%. What do you think, Sean? I see you over there thinking about this. How do you feel about this whole case?
I have nothing of value to contribute to this topic.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, it was a shitty situation to be in. Like, I don't think that, just watching the court case and watching Amber just fucking just do herself no favors the entire time. Like, the photos that she manipulated, like, it was just like, oh God, like, it was just not a good look for anyone. And I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we don't have to hear about it anymore. I think John, I hope that Johnny Depp gets a chance to come back and have another career and doesn't stay rocking. I haven't listened to any of his music, and that's probably for good reason. But it was just a hard thing. What I'm sure, what does he do? Folk?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like
I'm sure
Hollywood
it's not for me.
Vampire is the name of his band or something, like Hollywood Vampire or something like that. But
100% anti-vampire. So yeah, it's not gonna work for me.
I know. I just think that it's good that they just got this done. Honestly, he should have gotten more money probably, but like Mike was saying too, it's almost like an admission of guilt in a way. It's it's symbolic. It's like she's admitting like, here's the money, let's get done with this, and it's a good deal for her too. I think at the end of the day, like $1 million.
The only reason to do it, is because you think if it went further along in the legal process that you'd end up paying out more.
Yeah, because she had
100%.
appealed initially. She appealed, and then he appealed, and then they're like, "Well, we'll just settle on you giving me $1 million, and I'll donate to charity, and that's it." So it's like very favorable outcome for her considering what it was going to be, and she knows if she went through the process again that it's going to come out the same way.
Thank
like
goodness
you're
they
it's
dragged
not
us
going to happen.
all through this whole situation with them. Like we couldn't have done without this whole court circus.
I know, but it was good television. People love watching it. It probably made some YouTube stars too.
I feel like it was necessary though, because there was no other way that he could have cleared his name. There's no other way that the public would have seen him as anything else aside from what she was accusing him as if we didn't all watch that trial. Like, there's no way he like all of the things that happened to him would have continued to happen, and he would be where she is right now, which is like, in Madrid under a rock. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way that he could have come out of this with a career and without being labeled a wife beater, and a drug addict abuser. Like, there's no way. You
underscore the importance of how important it is to get into those primary sources. Like, when you can actually see people talking about the evidence in the courtroom, like, because that's a way you feel a lot better about that than, just commenting on other people's opinions, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. Well, I gotta tell you, hopefully she goes away and this is done. We don't hear any more drama about this. It's just done and over with. But something that I am kind of excited to hear more about, this is interesting. I heard this today, and it's touching on what's happening in Hollywood a lot too, is the Beatles are going to come out with their final record. You're like, what? The Beatles are coming out with their final record? But Paul McCartney's talking about how there's something happening now. He's working with artificial intelligence, and they're going to take John Lennon's vocals from an old demo, and they're going to make this new final Beatles album. Him and Ringo Starr are working on this together, and they're apparently able to take some stuff back in 95 they were using for the anthology series, and they said that most of it was just rubbish. That's what he called it. It didn't sound good. It sounded like shit, and then went to go play it and just didn't work with anything else, so they ditched a bunch of tracks. Well, apparently now with the new AI technology, they're able to put the songs through a system, and the AI can sort out the vocals, pull them out, and clean them up, and then they can pop them in the songs. So him and Ringo are recording vocals for this. He's not saying what the songs are going to be, if it'll be one song, a bunch of songs. There's people speculating online. One of the things they're saying is Now and Then is a song that he wrote, that John Lennon wrote back in 1978, and that's maybe one that might be on this whole final record. But Paul McCartney's like, it's pretty cool that I'm able to do this. He's also like, I'm getting old. Like, I don't really know how the internet works. Like, this is kind of scary. People are saying that you can actually, find AI doing songs by the Beatles, but it's not them. But this is actually them together. He's doing this. He wants to bring out the final Beatles album. And to me, I'm like, that's pretty cool. I think it's awesome. Like, then again, it pulls in the whole Michael Jackson thing, and they're talking about maybe bringing out albums post his death. People were freaking out about this, but this is like under the guise of Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. It's like, so is this a good thing? Is this cool? Are we excited about this? Are we not? Sabrina, I'm going to you because you love the Beatles. What do you think? Are you excited about this happening?
I do love the Beatles. And to be fair, a lot of dead people come out with albums. Just look at Tupac.
It's true.
He has come out with many, many, many albums since he passed away. Just saying. I
To be
feel
fair,
like
that is his hologram, though. Yeah. Just in
I'm
very
just saying,
tiny type. Yes.
new songs have come out that are, from Tupac, and they sound pretty good, to be fair. I feel like this. I know AI is like a touchy thing in all aspects. I feel like in music there is a little bit of a different vibe to it, because like, I mean, if you think about like even like the old keyboards where you can hit a button and it has a drum beat for you, and then you hit another button and it does something else, and you hit another button and then you play the piano, but you're creating all these other things with like things that are programmed into the keyboard. You know what I mean? Like, what about auto tune, where people are singing and their voice is like a little bit robot-y, but you know what I mean? Like, that's a huge thing. There's all sorts of like things that happen in music. Like, of course, you could have a drummer, doing the drums, but instead you have your Casio keyboard and you hit the button and then that happens. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like there's been manipulation by machine in music, for much longer than what's happening right now with all this crazy chat GPT and writing scripts and, making a Wes Anderson trailers. Like, I just feel like it's a different vibe. Now, to have like an AI come out with a Beatles album that no Beatle has anything to do with, obviously I'm fully against. But if you're able to preserve something that John Lennon actually wrote, that didn't have the chance to reach to the public, like, I'm super jazzed to be able to listen to that, and I think that it is, as a fan of the Beatles, I think that it is a wonderful thing that we'll be able to hear this song, or if there's more songs, that we haven't been able to experience because, he was like recorded on a boombox in his New York apartment, like playing piano. You know
with
what
a
I mean?
piano.
Like, now you get to like, it's truly written by him. Like, AI is helping separate his vocals from the instruments and tune it up and make it listenable, which I think it's amazing, and I think it's awesome, and I'm actually really excited for it.
It's like when technology goes right in a lot of ways, it can go really wrong, and it's like I feel like it can be kind of right. Sean, are you leaning towards that too? Is this a good thing or is it a slippery slope?
I'm split on this. I definitely feel like if we're gonna get Beatles stuff, get it before Ringo and Paul pass. I think that the time to have done this might have been closer to when the show came, or the documentary series came out. I know like the hysteria for new Beatles content is always going to be high. I mean, that's just part of the Beatles being the Beatles.
Well, the documentary was only a couple years ago, really quickly. And also, like, that was when he learned that it was possible because Peter Jackson did it for certain things. So, like, in that timeline, it seems more plausible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like the pieces are all coming together to make this a reality, and we're still in this this interesting beginning times of what the capabilities of AI can do, and if it's to bring back or restore something that could have been completed when John was alive, then by all means, let's go for it. Let's hear how it is.
Yeah,
I hope it sucks.
It's really fast. It might suck. I mean, it
How
could.
dare
I mean, Mike, what do you think about over there? What are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's a good idea?
It's pretty clear to me that all this talk about AI is just a false flag operation so that Tupac can have plausible deniability while he continues to release albums. They can say, oh, it's just the AI bringing him back. Meanwhile, he's at his base on the other side of the moon, just raking in those paychecks and not having to live with, all the paparazzi, which is, as we all know, the reason why he decided to defect to his moon base in the first place. I think it's obviously, we've all seen what AI can do. So I think I don't want to speak for everybody, but I bet that what the vocals that it pulls out are fine, are great.
Yeah.
Sound like they were recorded on the latest stuff. But I don't know, maybe because I haven't looked into it enough. Is this something that necessarily John was working on to potentially release, or is it? I've seen it happen too many times that the estates,
it's like
the families of artists will release unreleased stuff in, like, they'll try to finish up a work, do a half-assed job to cash in on the paycheck, and then it's like there was a reason why the artist didn't want it published in the first place. I got to give the benefit of a doubt to Paul here, because I don't think he's looking to defame the Beatles in any way. Like, he probably just wants to give people more, or at any rate, like, he probably wants to see what he can do if he pulls this in, and if he can publish it, then why not share it with people? Because he doesn't have anything to really gain in terms of money. Like, what would he care? What would he do with an extra $100 million? But if he can play with his old buddy and make some music again, I mean, why not, right? Bring him back from the dead.
Yoko Ono submitted all of these tapes and stuff to them when they were making the anthology CDs, like, in 95 or whatever. And we know, like, people say that she is literally the reason that the Beatles broke up. So she's not going to hand over anything that she doesn't think it was, true to him or something that he wanted to do.
You'd hope.
His albums with Yoko are great. They're good.
They're okay. I mean,
I'm a fan.
They're okay. Yeah, I don't hate them, but it's not the Beatles.
No.
I don't. Lexi asked me a question. Don't you think this is, in a lot of ways, kind of no different than trying to cash in on a franchise and making it over and over again? Do we really need more Beatles content now? See, but it's not new Beatles content. It's something that wasn't able to be released, like when it was written. And he died, like, someone shot him on his steps in Manhattan. It wasn't like he was like, I'm done making music and, like, now let's try to reboot this situation. Like, that was made when he was still a musician. It was like in his house husband years, because he was raising his son, and he was just taking a break from being out in the spotlight and actually performing, but he wasn't taking a break from working and writing. And I think that Paul, or at least what Paul said anyway, was that it's always been like an unfinished business and something that he really has wanted to get out there but wasn't able to. And since doing this documentary and learning about this, how they can do this with computers, that he wants to do it, like, for John, not for himself. And it's not like all the money's going to come to him. It's going to go to everyone, like, whatever, John's family, George's family, Ringo, him. Like, it's not a cash grab. I don't see it as that at all. Which I do see as when they're remaking a property, for the 30th time, like Leprechaun.
Yeah, it's not like a re-release. Yeah.
But you know what is a cash grab? Is a new Star Wars movie. That's what's a cash grab, because we've talked about this before. Daisy Ridley's coming back, but Idris Elba is apparently up to be the villain in the new Daisy Ridley franchise coming forward, where, of course, she's rebuilding the whole Jedi Force, and they're saying he might be a Sith Lord. He's in negotiations right now, so it's not final right now, and everybody's going nuts about it online. So, I mean, it could be something good. People are really putting fake names out there, calling it the Will of the Force. And I don't know, I hear this, and really the big news is, like, Idris Elba coming to Star Wars. So is that a good thing? Is that a bad? I love him. I know Sabrina loves him so much. Like, what do we think about him being a Sith Lord? I mean, that could be something different, right? Something different, right, Mike? Something different? Good for Star Wars?
Show us the makeup, man. I want to see,
him
get the full Darth Maul treatment. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what he needs. Yeah, I think that would be really cool. I think he's a phenomenal actor. So, like, why not? I'm surprised he hasn't done it yet. Maybe he's waiting for this right role. I mean, this is huge for him. I think it's be great for Star Wars. It makes me more excited about this franchise, this new moving forward continuation, than I was before, if this is true. Right? What do you think, Sean?
Yeah. Give me more Idris, please. Yes, please, more. He should be James Bond. He should be every evil Jedi or every Sith, whatever he wants to do. Give the man more, please. I just need more of him.
He should have been Bond. That would have been really cool.
He would have been a great Bond. I mean, I get that he's Luther and he's got that whole thing going on, and I understand that, but, like, I've loved to see in my lifetime an Idris Elba be Bond, but I think it's too late at this point.
Yeah, I think we've missed that popsicle stand. I don't think that's happening now.
Sean Connery back for another movie. What, Thunderball in the 80s, right? After he had stepped away from the role, so he was old as fuck by then.
And he was rocking a toupee for most of his career anyway. So, I mean, it wasn't even like it was a thing.
Get Idris a toupee and get him out there. He's still in the ring.
Does he need a toupee though, Mike? I don't think he needs that.
Give him one anyway.
Give him that long flowing locks and throw him out there with that lightsaber and be like, go fight him. Go fight Daisy Ridley. Go fight her off.
You know who else was Ridley? Gollum
Who?
From Lord of the Rings. What has Rey got in her nasty little pocketses? Huh?
Her
Ridley? Get it?
Pocketses?
Sean,
No, you lost me. You lost me. I can't.
Sean.
I know.
So
I know you're
making-
looking at me. I know
I'm
you're looking at
making-
me, and I'm like, I can't. I don't know what the hell you're talking
highbrow
about.
literary references, Sean.
I'm
You
sorry,
asked for
man.
that. How can you wear that shirt and tell me to aim high and then deny me when I say that Gollum is Ridley? Oh.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. All right, you got me.
They're not
Okay, thank
not
you.
having
job,
it.
Mike.
I'll take my $1
I don't
million
think that's
settlement
fair.
now. Thank you.
Which 5 charities are you going to donate to, sir?
Let's see. Hobbits for hire. The dark elves. They need as much help as they can get.
Okay.
Give us more elf. Bring on the elf.
Yeah.
Sabrina, are you excited? Does it make you more excited about this at all?
It does actually, because I love Idris Elba. Like I literally have never seen him do something that I disapproved of. I think there's still a chance he might be Bond. I think that's really weird that it keeps coming up and everyone keeps being like, no, like they still haven't cast somebody. I feel like it could happen. That's an odd outfit, but I do.
It's as close as I got to a Jedi outfit as I could find.
Yeah, that's close.
It is
That's pretty
kind of
close.
Jedi. Yeah, that's like
him
close
doing
again.
that's
it's a
red carpet
Grimace. It's a
Jedi, you guys.
Grimace. Grimace cosplay.
Red carpet Jedi.
And this is bedtime Jedi right here.
I just love him. He plays a very good villain. He was a villain in The
Oh,
Harder They
God.
Fall. He was a villain in Hobbs and Shaw, which is, as everyone knows, my favorite Fast and the Furious situation. I know it's not a direct, but it's a spinoff.
Because of all the
and
murder?
It's all the murder. It's all of the Idris Elba. It's all of The Rock, and it's all of the Statham. Like I love all of those 3 things. So please put them together for me again. So yeah, I love him. I'm super into it. I think that he is amazing at everything that he does. As a matter of fact, you guys should check his Hot Wings out. He is so good on
Fantastic
that
hot
show.
wings. Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite.
His appearance on Hot Wings.
Yeah, his appearance on Hot Wings. It's just
Not
he's
the wing.
so great. He explains how you are a Cockney, how you're established as a Cockney in England. Like you have to live in a certain radius to a belt. I mean, he's just an enlightening, amazing person. You'll learn a lot about him if you like Idris Elba. Definitely check out his Hot Ones. But I'm down for whatever he is doing. If he was in a Lord of the Rings movie, I would go see it. And everyone knows that is my least favorite thing on the planet. It took me like 6 weeks to watch it. I fell asleep 37 times and I watched them all together and it was horrifying and I'll never do it again. But if Idris Elba was there, count me in. That's all I'm saying.
I gotta tell you, another place I think he would be great in is G.I. Joe. And that leads me to our featured story of the night. Get it? So I want to talk about G.I. Joe again, because I'm like, we talked about this a while that there was a G.I. Joe coming, and we found out what it is. And what is it? It's G.I. Joe and Transformers. That's what we're getting. And I'm just like, G.I. Joe and Transformers, but this is a thing. This has happened in the comic books before. And apparently the producers of Transformers, all the way back when they were doing the first couple Transformers, they wanted to bring G.I. Joe in somehow, but they could never find a way to make it work. That's what they were saying. But I mean, if that could be just like them shooting shit, but who knows? But there was an interview talking to Lorenzo D. Bonaventura. I can't say this name. Lorenzo Ventura. I'm just going to call him Ventura. There we go.
Nailed it.
He's nailed it. Got it. But, the new Transformers came out, Rise of the Beasts, and they had a scene at the very end where they brought in G.I. Joe into this whole franchise. They actually started the crossover where Anthony Ramos's character was like going into a building and he's going for a new job interview or it's for security. This is kind of spoilers, everybody. If you haven't seen the whatever, Rise of the Beast, it's not much to spoil. It really isn't. But he goes in there and he meets up with Agent Burke. Michael Kelly plays him from House of Cards and recently on Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. And he says, hey, the big guys want you to join. We want to give you a new a job. Here you go. He hands him a card and it says G.I. Joe on it. So now they're going to branch them together. They're going to start slowly integrating G.I. Joe characters into this new Transformer franchise and eventually have them all mesh together for one big G.I. Joe, Optimus Primal Transformer world. and it's going to happen. And Ventura was talking about it, like the director was talking about it, how they've been wanting to do it. The director actually said he was trying to like sneak it in, and he was surprised when they said, yeah, let's go for it. And the reason why they're saying it works so well for this time is because Ramos's character was like searching for a job the whole time. Like, oh, this is a perfect character. He's searching for a job the whole time. So this is great. I'm like, come on. You just got nothing for this franchise, and you want to make it work. So throw G.I. Joe in, and I'm down for it. I am, but it's also like, it blew me away. I'm like, G.I. Joe and Transformers on the screen could be great. Could be awesome. Sean, I know you love some comics. We were talking about G.I. Joe and Transformers before the show. What do you think about this crossover event happening? Is it good for the Transformers franchise, or is this bullshit?
This is great for anyone that loves the 80s, loves action, loves explosions, loves tacky, terrible acting, and really, gimmicky names. This is for you. I was really excited about this when I heard about it because there was a scoop a couple of last week actually announcing that something called Void Rivals was coming out for Image Comics. And Void Rivals, it was a stealth release, which is very rarely done in the comic book industry. And it was touting this shared universe of two large franchises. No idea what it was. Turns out it's G.I. Joes and Transformers. So really interesting that you had Rise of the Beast come out, and that was the teaser ending. You've got this comic book introducing these two shared universes. I think this is a perfect timing. Everything is coming up, 80s baby, and give me more G.I. Joe, give me Transformers. I will agree with you. I do think like the old Transformers movies had Josh Duhamel running around as a military guy, and there was always a military component to all of these Transformers movies. Could have very easily been a G.I. Joe just injection right into that franchise. They didn't take it then. Now they're doing it now, and for some reason they decided Beast Wars was the way to do it. So here we are.
Yeah, they were saying, though, this is like the reboot now. They're kind of, with this one, it's really a restart for the whole franchise. Of course, they had Bumblebee, but this is really diving back in with these characters. And so this is a perfect time to start integrating G.I. Joe in. And then they're not going to throw them all in. Like, next movie, we're going to get G.I. Joe versus Transformers. No, like, it'll probably be that same kind of thing. I think it was like Sector 9 or Sector 6 or 7 or something like that they had. It'll be the same thing. And even when they shot it, they only had one card made that said G.I. Joe. And apparently the director kept it afterwards, and they threw that Sector 7 in there as a decoy for the previews. And they didn't even show people that it was going to be G.I. Joe until actual theaters. I think it's good. I think it makes sense. Like, why not throw in some Idris Elba, make him freaking Duke? I would love that shit. I'm all about it. Let's go. Let's rock and roll. Mike, what do you think about this? Are you excited about? I know you're a big 80s fan. Transformers, sure. G.I. Joe. Yo, Joe, what do you think? Yo or no?
Isn't Cobra Commander a little problematic for 2023? I know Sean's dying for his G.I. Joe injection over there, but
that's a good point. That's a good point.
This is all Hasbro. I'm despite being a sucker for nostalgia like everybody is, and a massive Gremlins defender, which I'm known as a Gremlins defender. It's we're still selling the same goddamn toys. Sabrina, your IP argument is you can just put that on a loop, just let that skip on the record player all day long. So we're under the it's problematic. This is here's the conspiracy theory. G.I. Joe, Hasbro, Transformers, Hasbro, D&D now, Hasbro. These are all the different kinds of children. D&D kids, G.I. Joe kids, Transformer kids. They're getting them all under the same umbrella. This is the new world order that Captain America was talking about.
Optimus Prime and G.I. Joe together, taking down the world.
I think Sean was right when he said that these could have just been injected seamlessly. It would have been a beautiful to not give it away in the advertising at all, in the marketing before, and just have a bunch of G.I. Joe showed up. That would have been sick. But I can't muster any enthusiasm for G.I. Joes, and Transformers has been just murdered, even though explosions and bad acting in 80s, it's not going to be 80s enough for my taste, I fear. So if you want to sell me toys, give me more Legos properties, because the writing on those is baller and they keep knocking them out of the park. So Hasbro, just go ruin D&D.
Go ruin D&D. I still think it just makes sense more and more that this is the combination. I just like you're saying, it could have just been natural before. They should have done it a long time ago. They've been struggling with G.I. Joe.
It's really surprising it hasn't happened before now.
Yeah, because the movies alone sucked. They couldn't do anything with the movies. They've rebooted them multiple times. They just don't stick. You got big actors, Bruce Willis, The Rock in these things. Channing Tatum. I mean, it just nothing worked.
Why
Sabrina, what do you
care? Were they just bad? It was just bad screenplays.
What? Who's it for? It's for like your grandpa. You know what I mean? It's not for the most audiences these days. Like, what's it really matter? G.I. Joe, special ops team.
They just did G.I. Joe like Snake Eyes.
Sabrina worked on it.
That also flash in the pan came and went. I didn't even know it came out. I was like, not excited, but I worked on it. And I was like, oh, I'll watch this. I mean, it was came and gone. Now I could care less. Like, I don't know why they keep. It's like, stop trying to shove it down my throat. Like, you've done it a million times. You rebooted it a million times. It's not working. No one gives a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, they tried with all super well-known people, super well-known action heroes. Then they tried with all new people. That's what the one that I worked on was all new people. I didn't recognize anybody there. You know what I mean? Like, they were all new people, which sometimes people are like, oh, great, a new crop of people. Like, let me get behind this. I can relate. They're younger. Like, I can relate. No, didn't work. So why are you now throwing it in to Transformers? It's just, I don't know. It's weird to me when you said, Sean, that, there could have been a crossover a long time ago. Like, you're absolutely right. But at the same time, when I heard this, I was like, what the actual fuck? Like, when you said it, I was like, oh, okay. I guess that makes much more sense to me now. But prior to you saying those words, which do make perfect sense, I didn't see it. I was like, this is, first of all, can anyone see Anthony Ramos as like a G.I. Joe?
That was the thing I laughed about a little bit.
He was like sashaying around in coattails in Hamilton. Like, I don't know that I see him as a G.I. Joe. I love him.
He's definitely not Duke.
He's a spectacular actor, but I hope there's a musical number somewhere in there.
I don't know. I'm looking at all the list of G.I. Joe characters, and I gotta tell you, I think he can make a hell of a good snow job. I think he's got it.
That sounds terrible.
Up. Snow job, or maybe Leatherneck.
Sounds too close to Snowball.
Tunnel Rat.
Sounds like
a theme here, Sean.
It sounds like I don't know enough about G.I. Joe to properly cast Anthony.
How about
Ramos,
airtight?
So I apologize.
Sorry. He can be airtight. Let it be airtight, all right? He's airtight. Got it.
So G.I. Joe does not hold up today, the names?
Apparently not. Ripcord. He just has a parachute. That's all he does.
Oh, you don't know what a ripcord is, Sean.
Wasn't there? Oh, never mind.
No, go ahead. What?
I will. No, I was going to make a joke about the. Never mind. It's not necessary. But when they were talking about this whole situation, I was like, oh well, at least they're saying all the right things. Like, we don't want these like long tentpole 2.5, 3 hour long movies, and we want to really develop the characters, and we're going to like gradually introduce them. We're not going to just throw the two IPs together and like have you have to get involved with like all of these new characters. But like the biggest criticism about this particular Transformers movie is that they tried to cram too many things into its 2 hour and 7 minute long movie, by the way. So it's not short by any means, but they said that they tried to cram too much things in. They didn't develop the characters enough, and that there's not enough emotional depth in the Transformers or in the humans. So even though you're saying all the things that I kind of want to hear, it seems like you weren't able to flesh that out in this current movie. So I don't know how much hope I have in the whole crossover situation with this with G.I. Joe. It just seems like it's going to be a mess. With the exception of what Sean said, it does make much more sense to me now, but I really don't want anything to do with it. I hate to say it.
Maybe this is a whole smokescreen, and we're really not going to get a crossover. This was just, he threw it in a joke because he's a big fan of the old PSAs, and he just really wants to have the kid go pork chop sandwiches or something, and like body whatever the hell it was.
Those
like,
I
think that
I remember those.
Yeah, who doesn't remember those PSAs? Like, maybe they're just, maybe we'll never get this, and that's probably for the best. You never know.
I mean, they've been talking. That's the funny thing. We talked about this like a couple weeks ago about how there was a whole rumor about a G.I. Joe movie coming. So there it is. That's all it is. This is what they were talking about for a while now. So It might not happen, Sean, but I feel like if you're going to do G.I. Joe, this is a better way than giving him its own spinoff again.
Yes.
No one wants to see another standalone G.I. Joe movie with Channing Tatum dying in 2 minutes no one wants to see it. Doesn't matter who you throw in there. No one's going to watch it.
It's like a last-ditch effort to like keep it alive for whatever reason.
Who's convinced that there's still juice in the IP? You know what I mean?
Someone
They must. It's got to be one of those things where they have the rights as long as they make a project every so many years, and they're probably about to run out of their rights.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And they're probably about to run up, and so like we got to throw G.I. Joe somewhere, throw in Transformers, and they're like, this might work. And then if people like it, then maybe we'll try going from there. But I guarantee it's a money thing. It comes down to a rights thing, and they just don't want to lose it just in case there's a great idea somewhere to make it work for a franchise again. But it won't. It won't.
Law and Order who has an attack dog. Would that work for him? That's pretty good.
Oh boy.
Well, he'll be the crossover person. So he'll be a G.I. Joe, but also he's like cool with the Transformers. So he'll be like the negotiator.
In between.
Yeah, he'll be like, you guys, we're gonna do this, you guys, we're gonna do that. He's gonna be like the common resource of the G.I. Joe fleet and the Transformer fleet. So he's going to be like the big boss. He's going to own it all, I guess. I'm guessing, I guess.
The question is, did anybody see that movie over the weekend? Any of us?
No.
I don't think a lot of people did. So it might not even work because we didn't see either. But hopefully this is the way to fix G.I. Joe.
$183 million globally, so that's not
Somebody's
too bad.
seeing it. Oh, yeah.
Somebody's watching it. I still want to see it. And it's fun. It's just fun movies. But G.I. Joe, Transformers, never thought I'd say it as a crossover, but it sounds like it's something that's happening. And I'd like to see a Captain Planet too, Lex. That'd be fun. But, we need Don Cheadle back because he did a great job in those YouTube videos. That's all I'm saying.
Humor
Don
already
Cheadle.
did it. College Humor already did it, Lexi.
Can't touch it. Can't touch it. But they can touch G.I. Joe and Transformers, and they will. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for being here on Kruse Control. As always, appreciate you having it here. It's been a great Wednesday, great hump day, and I can't wait for the next one. Sean, thank you so much for being here on Kruse Control. Appreciate you as always. Enjoy your happy Flash weekend.
Thank you very much. Lovely to see you all. Happy hump day. God bless America.
Hump day. Captain America.
Yes.
And Captain America's ass. Mike, thank you for being here on Kruse Control. As always, hope you had a great time and enjoy the rest of your week.
I wanted that Gollum joke to land too badly for it to ever succeed.
You gotta let it go.
That's
you have
my
to
fault.
let it
CGR.
go.
Earned that cricket chorus.
I think
it's whatever.
Thanks for having me still. I hope you'll have me back again.
Try it again next time, Mike. Try it again next time. Sabrina, thank you for being here as always on Kruse Control. The lovely Sabrina Vittoria, have a great night. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I circled back to Lord of the Rings for you, Mike. That was my effort for you.
Thank you. I heard it. I was there.
And
for
to
it.
Sean, sir, I remember a few months ago you said June couldn't come soon enough. So I can't wait to talk about the Flash with you next Wednesday, bro.
It's here, baby. It's here. Woo!
Next Wednesday we'll have our open spoilers on the Flash. Mike, you gotta watch over the weekend.
Movie this weekend.
I think I can probably manage it.
Awesome.
All right.
And
as always, everybody,
a Hawaiian shirt like Sean's got on too.
Hawaiian shirt next Wednesday, everybody.
Next Wednesday, Hawaiian shirt day.
Fucking do it.
Hawaiian shirt day next Wednesday. Putting it out there. Wear yours at home while you chat with us. Okay, just saying. Do it. Do it. And also, please like and subscribe. Join our Patreon if you can. And as always, tell your friends, your family, your uncles, your nephews, your cousins, your best friends. Their best friends that disappeared 5 years ago. You find them again. Tell them to watch Kruse Control. Tell a little squirrel and that porcupine that are making love. They have little crazy babies that spark up and hurt your feet when you walk on the ground. I don't know what the hell that's just. Tell them to watch Kruse Control. Tell those chinchillas because we love them so much, but they unsubscribe and they subscribe and they unsubscribe. You gotta slap them across the face. Call them Susie and tell them to subscribe and stick around for Kruse Control. And tell everybody, even that guy who's breaking your mailbox and your Ring camera, yell and say, watch Kruse Control and leave my fucking mail alone. And as always, everybody, have a great night. We love you so much. We're at like 400 and some whatever subscribers. Keep it going. And we'll come back on Friday. Have a good weekend, everybody. And as always, see ya.